What up, world? What up, world? What up, world? What up, world? It's your main man. I am DJ Double Dose, man, and we are back, man. We back up in the building, man. You know what I'm saying? Next stop, conference finals, man. Before we get into it, man, just want to make sure, man, welcome y'all in, man, to another episode of Double Dose of Reality Sports, man. And also, man, we're gonna say it every time, man. Make sure you download the Post Network. Powered by Roku. It's on the Roku app, man. Make sure you download the Post Network. That's where you can find this show, Tuesdays and Thursdays, The Real Spill. It's so many other different shows that's on the channel, man, for y'all to tune into, man. So make sure that if you haven't already, tell a friend to download the Post Network on the Roku app, man, so you can watch us in more places than just on YouTube. You can watch us on your TV too, man. But let's get into it, man. Game 7. Game 7. What they say is one of those things that you hear in sports. It just make the hairs on your arms stand up. Game 7. Not only did we have not one, we had 2 game 7s this past Sunday. Not one, but 2. And one of them was what? Madison Square Garden. Knicks fans. How y'all doing, man? Knicks fans. How y'all doing? I mean, the building was electric. You had Stephen A going crazy. You had Spike Lee, of course. You had all the celebrities that was right there, right in the building. I mean, the mystique. You had the organ lady. Let's go, Knicks. Let's go, Knicks. Let's go. Then the game tipped off and the first quarter happened. And now, I know, I will go on and get it out of the way. I will concede the Knicks had a lot of injuries. They did. And in this game, Brunson winded up getting hurt. Even before he got hurt, that game was pretty much in the bag. Indiana had a performance for the ages. Now, if you are a Knicks fan, hey, tip your hat. That's what you should say. It took an amazing performance to knock us out. But Knicks, man, we was rooting for y'all. Some of us, we wanted to see Boston in New York. We wanted to see that. We wanted to see that in the Eastern Conference Finals. You know how crazy that would have been? Boston and New York in the Eastern Conference Finals for a trip to go to the finals? Man, we was ready for it. Indiana said, no. The Pacers came out there and they literally and figuratively shot the motherfucking lights out and sent y'all injured asses home. Come on, Knicks. Right now, I ain't got no dog in the fight. I just want to see good basketball. That game wasn't good basketball from the top. Seriously. We watching the game, and the whole time we sitting up here saying, can they get a stop? Can they get a Man, before we know it, we looked up. Them jokers had, what, 39? That 39 in the first quarter. And then they followed the 39 up with 31 in the second. $39 in the first, 31 in the second. That's a recipe for a disaster, especially for a team coached by Tom Thibodeau, who's supposed to be a defensive-minded team. And I get it. Knicks fans. Y'all gonna get on here and y'all gonna get in these comments and y'all gonna get in my ass and y'all gonna tell me, man, we was injured, man, we was hurt, man. I understand, but I did want to see if y'all could have pulled it off. And Indiana had different thoughts. So as we no longer talk about the Knicks, because again, we got to talk about winners more than we talk about the losers. And I'm sorry, Knicks. Guess what? I hate to break it to you. You got a young squad. We'll see how things go from here. I don't know. I'm not going to say this was one of those opportunities that y'all wasted in, and you may not never get another opportunity in no time. So I'm not going to say that. Ooh, we drinking tequila tonight. But I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. Hats off to a good year. You perform well despite the injuries. But moving forward, hey Boston, y'all done had some nice little rest. Y'all done had some luxuries. But you got one of the, if not the top scoring team in the league that you're finna have to deal with. And I know everybody wants to just anoint Boston to the finals. I get it. Indiana gonna have a lot to say about that. A whole lot to say about that. I'm gonna go as far as to say, I'm gonna say it right now before the goddamn series start. I got Indiana in 6. Indiana in 6. They ain't gonna need no game 7 to beat Boston. They ain't gonna need it. Indiana in 6. You heard me? Look me in my eyes. Indy in 6. Indy in 6. Y'all a feel good story, Boston, man. Everybody wants to just go ahead and anoint y'all. But you know one thing about sports that we have learned? We've learned a lot. We've learned it a lot of times. When too many people are on one side of the fence, it usually don't go that way. In Boston, everybody has pretty much had y'all as the favorites this entire time in the East. And the way that Indiana looked, let's break it down. Let's talk ball for a second. When you look at the things that Indiana is able to do offensively with the basketball, I personally do not think that Boston wants to get into a situation where they have to score with them. I don't. Can Boston is Tatum an awesome? Is Tatum awesome? Yes, he is. Is Brown? Yes, he is. Is White? Yes, they have some guys on that team that are amazing. But I'm looking at Indiana. I'm looking at the way that they're forming to their own. I'm looking at the way that they're coming. I'm looking at the way how they've been able to think about it. This was a 7-game series. They had some highs and some lows, but they found themselves in that series. Boston ain't been tested in these playoffs. Boston ain't been battle tested in these playoffs. I mean, they've lost a game or two, but they haven't really been battle tested in these playoffs. I'm very, very, very interested in seeing how this goes in game 1 because we already know Boston is not, for whatever reason, as odd as this is, they are not a good home team. And if you're Indiana, if you were able to go into that environment Sunday evening, the crowd going crazy, Oregon lady going crazy, all the stars is out, all of New York, you know all of New York is watching it. They want the Knicks to be what they want them to be. So you know the whole city is watching. So everybody that's not in that was not in that building, was at a bar, was at a club, was at the crib. TV was glued. I'm sure we go pull the numbers. Probably was one of the it was probably one of the highly viewed game 7s we didn't had. Probably was up there. Now, when they started getting in y'all ass, a lot of people about to turn it off. But the point I'm trying to make is between the crowd, the pressure, and everything that was on Indiana, they walked in that building and they whooped their ass. I think the closest that game got at one point was maybe 6. Maybe, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it really got much closer than that. Once Indiana got to rolling, I don't think it got much closer than 6. So the environment isn't going to bother them. Not at all. And we know who the trigger man is. Halliburton, how you want to say his name? Young and gunning. He's more of a distributor, but when you need him, when they needed him in that game 7 and they needed him to be a little bit more of a scorer, he delivered. So if you Boston, I would be very weary about that, especially because you're not a good home team. All Indiana got to do is what you've been doing all year, losing at home. All you ain't got to do is snatch one. If they snatch one, now granted, I know the flip side is y'all a good road team, but if they go in there and they snatch one, I got Indiana in 6. Well, you know what? Yeah, nah, we gonna double down on it. We ain't gonna back it out. Nah, we ain't gonna say we got Indiana winning the series. Hell no, we got Indiana in 6. That was the first game 7. The second one, the defending champs, 3-time MVP. A lot of people had controversy. You had Ant-Man. We know everybody what they're trying to compare him to. You got Jamal Murray. You got Gordon. You got Cat. You got Rudy Gobert. Stars was definitely aligned in this one. But if you Denver, you know what Denver, you know what you did? You played with your food. You played with your food. You had no business losing to them boys them first 2 games. And they made you pay. And when it got down to that game 7, you know what you look like, Nuggets? You look tired. You look tired. When it got to that fourth quarter, them boys and them young legs, they was ready. Anthony Edwards didn't even have a good game. He didn't. But shout out to his teammates. They lifted him up. You heard it because he was mic'd up. You heard it throughout the whole game. Hey, man, if I get this look, I'm gonna kick it to you. I need you to make the basket. If I get this look, Nas, man, when you look at the effort that they got from Nas and that they got from Gobert and that they got from Cat, who got injured, who got banged up again in this game, but still steady kept going. The list goes on and on. Minnesota wanted it. I don't necessarily know. It's not that I don't think Denver wanted to be there because obviously it was game 7 of professionals and we understand all of that. But as that game went on and Joker and them had to play more and more heavy minutes and they couldn't pull away. I think that was the main thing was Denver couldn't pull away. They couldn't put them away. They kept getting up by double digits, but Minnesota would fight it back. They kept getting up, Minnesota would fight it back. They kept getting up, Minnesota would fight it back. So by the time you got to the fourth quarter, you're tired. And it showed. Anthony Edwards played on both ends. His offensive game was not clicking for him because of the way that Denver was defending him. However, he stayed down. He played defense. He continued to get his teammates involved. Having Conley back mattered. You see what type of team they are when they got Conley handling the point. Cat showed up. It was made key shots and key moments when he needed to. And that ended up being the recipe for Denver taking y'all ass home. I don't think nobody's shedding a tear for the Nuggets, besides maybe the Nuggets fans. Outside of that, I think the rest of us, we are perfectly okay with the fact that Denver did not make it to the Western Conference Finals. I don't think many of us are really losing any sleep behind the Nuggets not making it to the Western Conference Finals. But it sets up an interesting showdown. Because Kyrie has been on fire. Luka been being Luka. And if you Dallas, you're looking at it from the lens of the same way I said I don't want to say New York, you may not get back to that moment again, yada, yada, yada. If you're Dallas, you have to look at it and say, this is what we brought Kyrie here for. This is why we gave Luka a partner, a dance partner. This is why we did this. And now you are one step away from the conference final. I'm going to go as far as to say whoever wins this series is going to win the championship. That's how far I'm going with it. Whether it be Minnesota, whether it be Dallas, whoever wins this series will win the championship. They're gonna walk away with the trophy. So what we're about to see with these two, you're gonna see a battle because I don't know which approach Dallas is going to take as far as how they're going to defend Anthony Edwards. Denver took a certain approach, especially in the last few games. They took an approach. Was like, hey, we're going to make your other guys beat us. I don't know if Dallas is going to take that same approach. We'll see when the game happens. We'll see after the first couple of games, we'll see which angle Dallas decides to go. But ultimately, I hate to do it to him. The young fella, this ain't it. Not right here. I got Dallas marching on in this series, man. For me, I got Dallas and Indiana in the finals. That's what I got. That's what I'm going with from here on. I got it. I got Dallas and Indy in the finals. And in Indiana, your heart gonna get ripped out of your chest once again. Once again, your heart will get ripped out of your chest. Sorry, Larry. I'm sorry. But I got Dallas and Indy in the finals. I'm going to be glued. Do you hear me? Glued to this TV to watch this matchup. Because when they asked Ant who he had, he said, man, I guess I got Kyrie. Because he already knows what that task is going to be. Because the Warriors will tell you that. There is no locking up, Kyrie. It's no locking up Kyrie. It's can you stop him in certain moments of the game? That's what it is with Kyrie. It's can you stop him in certain moments of the game? Can you force him away from some of his spots and make his shots more challenging? But you're not gonna lock him up. He's healthy. You're not gonna lock him up. It's a matter on if you can or cannot make him work even more. And can you make him work on the defensive end? I think that if you think back to a lot of those series when, especially the one that always plays in my mind with Cleveland and Golden State, which was ultimately ended up reason why we all know they went ahead and let Harrison Barnes go self-check because they weren't making Kyrie work on the defensive end, I think, the way that they wanted to. They weren't making him work on the defensive end. Ant's going to make him work. Ant's going to have to make him work on that defensive end. That's going to be more of his offense than anything is how much he makes Kyrie work on the defensive end. And then he still applies them young legs and that pressure to him when he's on defense. That matchup is very intriguing. I'm looking to see that. And as far as Minnesota goes, I don't know what their answer is for Luka. I don't know what their answer is. I don't know where they go with that. I don't know. I think Luka is going to be too much. I think he's ultimately going to be too much for them. And for me, I got Dallas winning the series. Give me Dallas and give me Indiana in the finals. And I think it's going to be good. It's going to be good for the league. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. We seeing a change in the guard as the end of an era, man. You know, no KD, no Steph, no Bron. I mean, you throw Chris Paul in there, but no Chris Paul. I mean, the list goes on and on. Guys we've gotten accustomed to seeing in the playoffs, making runs in the playoffs. No James Harden. Guys we've gotten accustomed to seeing in the playoffs. Names we're used to saying, people we're used to seeing. Whether it's them folding under the pressure and we saying, hey, he can't handle the pressure, or whether it's watching them be triumphant and win certain games. I'm excited about it. I am. I'm looking forward to it. So those are my predictions, man. Next stock conference finals, man. Everything kicks off tomorrow night. We got it, and like my man said in the broadcast last night, we got him from tomorrow night on. We got basketball on pretty much every other night. So buckle up. Let's get ready for it. Now, in between the last time we were on the show, one time for EA Sports, goddamn it. That trailer was a thing of beauty. I mean, where do you start? Whether it was teams you liked or you didn't like, but the way that they've already, what you've seen just in that snippet, the traditions, how they showed the 12th man down to Texas A&M, how they showed my man at Wake on the motorcycle, how we saw, I don't want to admit it, but how we saw The Rock, with Clemson, how we saw the Gators tapping the Gator head as they coming out of the light. I mean, it was a thing of beauty. it was amazing to see, you know, even though we've been hearing the tweets and you've heard Chris Fowler and Kirk Street and everybody under the sun, EA has made their now, I mean, everything, but to actually see a snippet of gameplay. I mean, it was a very small snippet, but to see the atmosphere and to hear, the commentators, man, it's just gonna be it is gonna be an amazing game. And I think I saw one of my Facebook friends, she was like, uh, she said, this was gonna be a real fun game. And a lot of us men, we got in the comments and was like, I mean, I even specifically said, I was like, yeah, we've been waiting 10 years for this. So yeah, all up and down your timeline, you gonna see a bunch of grown men, ones who ain't even been playing video games, who after the last release, they didn't even bother continuing on. I'm not me and my people, but a lot of guys they didn't even continue on. A lot of guys like, man, I'm finna pick back up. They scrambling to go get Xboxes, scrambling to go get PS5. They scrambling because they already know July gonna be here before you know it. And it's gonna be amazing, man. It's gonna be wonderful. I think that, those of us who enjoyed the original game and played it, for all of those years, we're just excited to have it back. We're excited to, you know, get your school and you in year 4 of your dynasty, and now you probably got to fire your coach or and now they done added in the NIL situation and the transfer portal and to have the babysit a player. That's something new that we're gonna have to do. I mean, it's just a lot, and I am, if you can hear it in my voice, I am beyond over the moon excited. My only thing to EA is this: do not make this game Ultimate Team focused. All I ask. Is it going to be on there? We already know that. But do not do what you did to Madden. Those of us who play Madden know exactly what I'm saying. You made Madden Ultimate Team focused. And just don't do this to this. The mode is going to be there. We understand that. I get it. It's cool. But make sure that you invest so much more time and so much more of your developers into the online dynasty, into the road to glory, into the high, whatever other modes you want to put in it. Make sure those modes have even more of a make sure that the ultimate team thing is just an afterthought. Like, hey, you can go over here, you can play with your favorite players, you can do this, cool. But make that not be the focus of the game like you did with Madden. That's all I ask. I think that's all a lot of us ask. We know what we fell in love with and why we fell in love with college football. It was different from Madden. So just stick with that. Just stick with that, and we're gonna be cool, man. And everything is gonna be everything, man. So, you know, May's almost over. We got June. And that's it, y'all. And that's it. We got to ride out these last couple weeks in May. We got to ride out June. Once July hit, it's all gas, no brakes, man. You already know. Once July hit, we're gonna start having. You already know. Gonna start having media days. Everybody gonna be back. So, hey man, I just want to say, man, shout out to everybody for watching, man. Thank y'all for continuing to watch the show. Thank y'all for continuing to rock with me. Make sure, again, as we leave, make sure you download the Post Network on the Roku app, man. Make sure that you do that. Continue to tell a friend and watch the show, man. I thank each and every one of y'all for watching. Every week we're continuing to grow. We're continuing to build. And like I said, man, we got a lot of things coming this upcoming football season. You never know where you're going to see me at. You never know who you're going to see on here, man. So as we close out each and every show, man, live, laugh, and love, man. Live your life to the fullest. Love on the people that love you back and find you something to laugh at each and every day. And I'm out.